Japanese car makers, Nissan unveiled the new generation Leaf electric vehicle in Japan earlier this month. While the first generation, which was launched in 2010, managed to sell almost 3 lakh units globally, Nissan is hoping for more this time with the new Leaf. How, you ask? Nissan has heavily invested in the new technology and innovations which the company says will give its opponents a run for its money. The company boasts of groundbreaking technology and innovations that makes the new Leaf even better than its predecessor. We take a look at the autonomous features that makes the new Nissan Leaf a force to reckon with in the electric vehicle segment. The new Nissan Leaf is offering advanced technology to the growing market for mainstream electric vehicles. With Nissan Intelligent Driving, the new Leaf is more connected to its driver with 3 unique features that the company says will change the way we drive. These include ProPilot Park and e-pedal. Hiroki Isobe, chief vehicle engineer, Nissan Motor Company said, drivers of the new Nissan Leaf will quickly come to love the e-pedal, as it makes the usual experience of urban driving far smoother and more fluid, and less demanding. Our testing has showed that drivers quickly find the e-pedal intuitive and even enjoyable. It promotes anticipation on the road, which in turn has a positive effect on driving pleasure. The ProPilot feature is a single-lane autonomous driving technology that can automatically control the distance to the vehicle in front, using a speed fixed by the driver. It can also help the driver navigate and keep the vehicle in its lane. If the car in front stops, the ProPilot system will automatically apply the brakes to bring the vehicle to a full stop. The car will then resume driving when the switch is activated again or on lightly pressing of the accelerator. Nissan says that this function can significantly reduce stress when driving on the highway in both heavy and flowing traffic. The next feature is the ProPilot Park. This is a fully fledged system that helps the drivers to park automatically, controlling acceleration, brakes, handling, shift changing and parking brakes to guide the car into a parking spot. By combining 4 high-resolution cameras and information from 12 ultrasonic sensors around the car, the ProPilot Park guides the car into a space accurately. All steering, braking and throttle inputs are automated. The system can automatically identify a parking space around the car so that the driver doesn't need to set a target parking position. Requiring only 3 easy steps for activation, this technology liberates drivers from one of the most tedious, and at times the most challenging, tasks of driving. Another innovation that enhances the Nissan Leaf's driving experience is the e-pedal, offered as standard equipment. This feature allows the driver to start, accelerate, decelerate, stop and hold the car by using the accelerator pedal alone. Nissan has high hopes from the e-pedal feature as it can change the way people drive. By simply releasing the accelerator, the car will come to a smooth and complete stop and hold without the need to press the brake pedal. The e-pedal eliminates the need for drivers to constantly move their foot from the accelerator to the brake pedal to slow down or stop. This helps reduce fatigue. According to a study conducted by Nissan, the Leaf's e-pedal reduces the number of times the driver must apply the brakes while commuting in heavily congested traffic. While the conventional brake pedal must be used in aggressive braking situations, the e-pedal lets drivers use a single pedal for more than 90% of their driving needs. Along with ProPilot Park and e-pedal, the new Nissan Leaf is equipped with a set of advanced safety technologies including intelligent lane intervention, lane departure warning, intelligent emergency braking, blind spot warning, traffic sign recognition, rear cross traffic alert, and intelligent around view monitor with moving object detection and emergency assist for pedal misapplication. The new Nissan Leaf goes on sale on October 2nd in Japan, while the deliveries for the US, Canada and European markets will start from January next year. While the Leaf is sold in more than 60 markets worldwide, Nissan is hoping to bring in the new Leaf to India as well, with dry runs to commence by end of this year to check if it is feasible to launch an electric vehicle in India.
We've seen the arrival of half a dozen new electric models, notably from Volkswagen, Ford and Tesla, and we watched Renault extend the driving range of its Zoe Super Mini to a realistic 150 miles. All the way, the Leaf has deservedly kept its position as the world's best-known battery electric car, a practical, Golf-sized 5-door with worldwide sales reaching 250,000 at the end of last year and now nearing 75,000 in Europe. That hardly makes it a mainstreamer, but the fact that most people know a Leaf when they see one shows Nissan's success at publicizing its pioneering model. Our motivation for acquiring? A latest spec 30 kWh Leaf. Earlier models, going back to 2010, had 24 kWh batteries, was to investigate what we saw as an emerging trend in electric cars, a tendency for them to be acquired as second family cars and soon, because of their convenience, economy and easy driving, to take the lead role. And so it proved. Our Leaf became a short-haul specialist, constantly taking people to the airport, home from work, on errands and generally proving useful. Its total mileage wasn't impressive, but its number of journeys was dizzying. The art of making a Leaf work? Is never seriously to test the range, claimed at 150-odd miles on the NEDC cycle but closer to 100 to 110 in sensible everyday driving. Depend on the Leaf for round trips of 70 to 80 miles and it is a smooth, quiet, convenient joy, complete with a decent ride, solid brakes, enhanced by its regeneration system, and light, enjoyable steering. But challenge? It to go beyond 100 miles and you'd forget all the advantages, including silence, a decent boot and practical rear accommodation, as the sweat of range anxiety pops out on your brow. You don't even count the meager fueling cost, somewhere between a fifth and a tenth of what you'd pay for petrol, as an advantage when you just don't have enough of the stuff. Early on, in a fit of enthusiasm, we tried to use the Leaf as transport for a 24-hour Three Peaks challenge but failed miserably because convenient charging points, although theoretically available, were not. Our lesson was learned. The car came back to London and assumed duties that made sense. If we needed to dash to Edinburgh, we selected a convenient long-legged diesel motor, as Leaf-owning two-car families tend to do. Such is the speed of electric car progress that, for all our Leaf's endearing qualities, it did strike us as nearing the end of its time. Companies with electric models in the pipeline now talk of a 200-mile range as an emerging owner's requirement. The Leaf's performance isn't exactly brilliant against others, and the cost, we'd have paid £28,380 after deducting the government's £4,500 incentive, is pretty solid for what you get, even if for your 8,000 annual miles you're saving the thick end of £1,200 on fuel. Our Leaf and its peers have made important points about the practicality of electric cars. But now it's time for a new Nissan to take the matter further. Luckily, there's one in the pipeline. Response: clean, quick step off from rest is one of the Leaf's driving delights. Refinement: you won't find greater smoothness or silence this side of a Rolls-Royce. Economy: power costs far less than it does in a petrol car, even at full tariff. Range anxiety: this Leaf's range is shorter than that of the most modern EVs. Charging time tends to make owners impatient. Home charging is best. Previous stories. As our Leaf rolls on, impressing everyone who drives it with its comfort and refinement, I feel I'm becoming integrated into polite Leaf society. In the course of our time with the car, I've spoken to more than a dozen owners. Interestingly, the ones I've met have almost always been traveling at least 2 up, all of them at charging points in the south of England, and started to learn the habits of the common or garden electric Nissan buyer. The first I met was at Membury Services on the M4. He was on a journey with his wife from Malvern to Reading. while we each waited for our 80% charge. This guy knew very well, and I've since learned, that pursuing the final 15% isn't worth the extra time it takes. He explained to me that his other car was a Westfield V8, but this was the one in which he did most of his miles. The one place you're most likely to meet other members of Leaf Society is at those free charging stations on motorways, at around 6 p.m. Owners in adjacent towns or suburbs tend to drive a few miles on the motorway to pick up free tickle, courtesy of Ecotricity, to get them to work every couple of days. This is where you witness the closest thing to EV road rage, although it never comes to that, because these people tend to be supporters of an orderly society, not the sort who want to tear it down. But what gets the Leaf owners' goat, I felt the annoyance myself, is arriving at a charging station and finding it occupied by a plug-in hybrid, already charged to the hilt, with its owner away having a languorous coffee. Here is a car that can proceed anyway, hogging the facilities. We pure battery car owners feel they're breaching the rules of charging point etiquette. As the EV constituency grows, which it is starting to do at a decent rate, it'll be interesting to see how things evolve. Especially when Ecotricity starts charging for its facilities, as it surely must, and soon.